Ding-A-Ling! Freddie was a fine old mountain engine. He knew more about the hills, the valleys, the hidden tracks, and the highland villages than any other engines. But there were still some things that Freddie didn't know. One morning, Freddie, Peter, Sam and Mighty Mac were at the wharf. Mr. Percival was going on a family cycling holiday. James was bringing a new bicycle. "You are late, James," whistled Freddie grandly. "The thin controller is waiting." "I came as fast as I could," James wheezed crossly. Freddie was to deliver the bicycle, so it was loaded onto his flatbed. "There's no bell," James huffed. "I don't think a bicycle bell is important," puffed Freddie. "It's very important," snorted James. "It's like a whistle. It lets everyone know you're there." That made Freddie feel very silly. "One of you must find a bell for the thin controller's bicycle right away," James steamed snootily. Peter, Sam and Mighty Mac didn't know where to find one, so they looked at Freddie. Freddie didn't know, but he didn't want to ask James. "Of course I know where to find a bicycle bell," Freddie chuffed quickly. He didn't want James to think he was even sillier. So he puffed quickly out of the wharf. Freddie chuffed along. "Ding-a-long, ding-a-ling, find a bell with the very best ring," he whistled cheerfully. But he couldn't see a bicycle bell anywhere. Freddie puffed up to a farmer with his cows. "Hooray!" he chuffed. "A cowbell will be as good as a bicycle bell." The farmer hung the bell on the handlebars. Just then, Mighty Mac puffed up. The cowbell clanged. "Listen to that," chuffed Freddie proudly. "This is far better than a bicycle bell." But the cows didn't look up. "The cows aren't taking any notice at all," huffed Mighty. "That'll never do for a bicycle bell," chuffed Mac. Freddie felt silly, and he chuffed quickly on his way. Then Freddie puffed into Top Station. Cuffy the Clown had a ring of bells around his neck. They jingled and jangled. "Hooray!" Freddie chuffed. "Cuffy's bells would be as good as a bicycle bell." Cuffy hung the bells next to the cowbell. Just then, Peter Sam puffed up. The bells chimed and tinkled. "Listen to that," whistled Freddie proudly. But the children kept laughing with Cuffy. "The children aren't taking any notice at all," puffed Peter Sam. "They'll never do for a bicycle bell." Freddie felt even sillier, and again he chuffed quickly away. Freddie had puffed all over the hills. "I will have to go back to the wharf," he steamed sadly, "and tell them all I can't find a bell." And he huffed slowly away. Freddie arrived at the wharf. He could see Peter, Sam, Mighty Mac and James. They were waiting for him. "I must find a bicycle bell somewhere before they see me," he puffed, and he chuffed quickly away from them. Freddie looked everywhere, and then he saw it. A shiny new school bell. "Hooray!" he whistled. "A big school bell is far better than a little bicycle bell. With a bell that big, everyone will know the thin controller is there." The workman put the bell on the bike, but it was very heavy. The bicycle toppled off the flatbed and crashed to the ground. All the bells jingled and jangled. Peter, Sam, Mighty Mac and James heard the clatter and rushed over. The yard manager was very cross, and everyone looked at Freddie. The thin controller is waiting for his new bicycle, the yard manager said sternly. I'll have all the bells taken off, then you must deliver it to him. Freddie felt sillier than he had ever felt. Later, Freddie was puffing glumly out of the wharf. He met Thomas chuffing in. What's the matter, Freddie? Tooted Thomas. Freddie told Thomas everything that had happened. And it's all because I felt silly and didn't ask James where to find a bicycle bell. I'm sure you'll find one soon, Thomas whistled. Suddenly, Freddie saw a bright new foghorn on Thomas's flatbed. Where are you taking that bright new foghorn? Freddie asked. It's not new. It's old, tooted Thomas. But it still works very well. It has just been cleaned and painted. Now I know just what to do, Freddie cried excitedly. And he puffed quickly out of the wharf. The thin controller looked at his new bicycle. There's no bell, he gasped. Yes, there is, sir, Freddie whistled. He asked the yard manager to take the old bell from the old bicycle. The yard manager polished it once, then he polished it again and put it on the new bicycle. It was as good as new. The thin controller was very happy. What a good idea, Freddie, he smiled. And James had to agree. Freddie didn't feel silly anymore. He felt very proud. Ding-A-Ling rang the thin controller's bell, and Freddie toot-tooted back.